Hey everybody, Marty Mazura here. Good morning. It's the 9th of September 2019, Monday, with your pre-market update. As you can see, the market continues to mount higher. This is this morning's candle right there. What a nice, strong rally off of this bottom. Optimism over trade, optimism over Hong Kong, optimism over Fed and central bank stimulus the world over. We got more of that in China over the weekend. We are looking at this week probably seeing an announcement of some new, maybe even quantitative easing out of the European Central Bank. And then next week, it's expected that the US Central Bank is going to accommodate as well. So we have traders absolutely coming into this market, again, providing some fuel, some momentum. My best guess is that we will indeed see new all-time highs in the near future. At least that's what the charts are suggesting on a short-term basis. Of course, anything can happen. There's a lot of risk out there, as you know. And as you know, if you've been watching the videos and reading the blog, and if you're clients in our review meetings, we're not going to jump onto this rally in light of what we still view as longer term and unfavorable risk reward setup, both in terms of what could ultimately turn this economy and this market lower, and then what we find under the surface as those cracks that are already forming begin to widen in that scenario. I do think there's the potential that we get to a place of sustainably new highs and the present economic expansion continuing for the foreseeable future. It's just there's a lot of fundamental and technical work to be done, damage to be undone, as I continue to say, before we are feeling it, so to speak, in terms of optimism to the upside. In the meantime, though, on a short-term basis, I do see the makings of more of a rally to higher highs. I'd say I'd give it better than 50-50 odds. I think I'm going to go ahead and post last night's log entry. We have an internal log that I take notes in quite often, and I share many of them with you herein. And I think I'm going to go ahead and share last night's, and that'll give you more detail in terms of what I or we are thinking and why. Okay, so anyway, the daily futures chart sure looks compelling. Could be a really good week. I can see catalysts to keep this thing alive. Of course, and I'll say it again, lots going on in the world, lots of potential areas that could heat up at a moment's notice and create some pressure, some downward pressure on the market. So stay tuned, folks. Just expect lots of volatility. And then I'll finish up with a quick look at the hourly chart once again. Here's that, we had that nice breakout coming out of this long consolidation area, come up in here. You can see on the hourly chart, we're beginning to move a bit sideways in here. Looking at the technical indicators, looking at the MACD for momentum, clues, and so forth. While the daily chart looks very compelling, the hourly chart, certainly on the MACD, you have definitely a negative divergence here. And you've got one on the RSI, although the RSI actually underneath here is looking pretty positive. So this would be an indicator that there's definitely some momentum brewing and we could resolve higher here on the hourly chart. This one, not so much. So if I were a short-term trader looking at these levels here, I would want to see a really strong breakout here with some momentum, and I'd like to see a positive resolution down here before I jump on that bandwagon. Otherwise, if these were to continue to break down, we break down below these levels and maybe a level further down with momentum, you would go short with a buy stop up above there. Again, folks, the reason I bring this up is just to give you a feel for what moves this market, sometimes quite dramatically, on a near-term basis in the absence of any headlines, tweets, or other news. It's because there is a mountain of money that trades the technicals, looks at support and resistance levels, technical indicators like these, and makes day-to-day decisions, sometimes with great blocks of shares, that will actually throw the market in one direction or the other on a very short-term basis. And these are things that could ultimately build momentum as well in the absence of any news, or you could see a technical breakdown and you get a news headline that supports that and you get some momentum on the downside. This right now, I'll say it again, notwithstanding the hourly chart, feels to me like there's that odds favor more upside from here in the very near future. But of course, that remains to be seen. Anything can happen in the markets. We keep our focus on the long-term fundamentals and the technicals. Both are demanding that we stay very cautious right here for the time being. Thanks as always for watching and listening, and I'll talk to you again very soon. Bye-bye.